All right, hello and welcome to a very special episode of the Too Hard to Pass podcast. I'm your co-host
Man.
Juan Martinez, and to my left or to my right, it's the biggest free agent in the world right now. It's Jacques.
Woohoo! Yo, what up,
Maybe
what up, what up,
second,
what up?
second biggest free agent,
Yes.
I guess.
I don't know. I mean, I am a free agent technically. Yeah, so wow. I guess that's how we start, which is wow. Did not
Yes,
see that coming.
yeah. We should elaborate on what that is actually.
Yeah, I guess
Um,
that should be helpful.
Breaking news: Steph Curry is a free agent, not in the NBA, but in the sneaker world. It was just announced via press release and a tweet by a friend of the program, Nick DePaula, that Steph and Under Armour are parting ways. But it's going to be more of a long kind of conscious uncoupling, whatever that
Yeah,
was.
yeah.
It's not like immediately the like Curry brand, Steph and Under Armour are going to be parting ways. We're gonna have to wait until 2026 basically to see the actual end of the partnership. I'm reading the press release right here. Under the separation, I love that it's called separation. Uh, it makes it feel like like something like really sad is happening. Um,
Yeah.
Curry will become, and so that's the other thing too, is like Curry brand will actually become its own separate independent entity. Steph will
Yes.
retain Curry brand. So Curry will become, I like how it's called Curry, not Curry brand. Curry will become independent of Under Armour. UA will release the Curry 13, the final Curry brand Under Armour shoe, in February 2026 as planned, with additional colorways and apparel collections available through October 2026. So we have basically a long goodbye, like a whole
Yes.
year, a whole basic 12 months to kind of say goodbye to
Yeah.
what I would say has been one of the more consequential sneaker partnerships in ever, really, because
Yeah.
everybody knows the story of Steph leaving Nike. There was a big whole kerfuffle about like, mistakes were made by the Nike people over there, and that's what led to Steph signing with Under Armour.
Yep.
And let's be honest, that's kind of a big reason why, like, Steph is a star, as big as of a star as he is, because he has his own signature shoe. And now he has his own brand. But for reasons, which I guess you'll kind of get into a little bit more deeper and possibly, speculate as to why this is happening. But now the partnership is over. Like Curry brand, I believe was started like, was it like 2020, 2021? Was to
Mhm.
basically designed to be like their version of Jordan brand, like a independent entity. The branding would be separate, although the UA logo still kind of stays on like, a lot of the Curry brand shoes. But it is kind of basically like a Jordan brand partnership where Curry kind of operates independently, but they still get to use Under Armour's resources, the infrastructure. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
but yeah, no, there's going to be a lot of like talk about like, what actually causes the breakup and all that stuff. But I mean, you kind of, in your reel that you posted on the internet, which, you guys should go check out, you kind of took a different angle, I would say.
Yeah, I think it's easy to fall into the sneaker side of all of this, but I think there's a big there's a bigger story happening here, partly
Sure.
with Under Armour and partly with Curry.
Hmm.
They, in addition to the press release saying that Curry brand was separating, UA put out a press release as well saying that they were restructuring for 2026 as well, as part of like some severance packages, some termination of some contracts, and a bunch of other things that they have going on. So this, to me, seems like, and again, this is pure speculation. We don't know any inside information. I
Hmm.
don't know if Curry was becoming too expensive for the brand and the sort of star power that he has. And
Right.
as a result of that, they decided to let him go, allowing him to keep his IP as part of that package of, we can't afford you anymore, but here is all this IP that you can keep, along with everything. Or he may have worked that out initially. But it seems to me as like Under Armour is really trying to minimize their cost.
Sure.
And this was part of that. This was part of that conversation. They're trying to, I mean, they obviously haven't been doing well. Their stock price is way down. Their stock price is at like $4 right now.
Hmm.
So they're really trying, I think they're really trying their best to restructure everything and get their focus back to the things that really brought Under Armour to prominence all those years ago, which is innovation and performance materials. And although they do still have an appetite for basketball, I'm not sure that appetite includes signature athletes like Steph, at least not in the near future.
Right.
I felt like I
And
said that like I was on the news, like I was on CNN talking to an anchor. That felt very
hey,
like
you never know.
very
You
like
never know. You put that reel up
I
and you
know.
might, yeah, you never know. That reel might get you like you're actually on CNN. I mean, it's not like it wouldn't be your first time on CNN or something like that.
Yeah,
But
that's true. That's true.
exactly, exactly. So now that's fine and all. The business side of it definitely makes sense. There's always, it's possible that Curry Brand just became too expensive for Under Armour. That, whatever benefit they were getting from being associated with Steph was no longer they couldn't justify the cost anymore. It's totally possible
Right.
that's the case. So again, we don't know exactly. So we're kind of putting two and two together because, like you said, like I guess that press conference, that press release also dropped at the same time as this news. I believe
Yeah,
was
about
in
the
the same time frame.
restructuring. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like literally I
So
think it's literally like second within seconds of
within
each
seconds of
other.
each other. Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah.
like, if you look at the timestamp, it's basically the same time.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
yeah, yeah, I mean, you could easily put 2 and 2 together, but we're not gonna make that assumption until there's actually like, we're not gonna make, like this is not hard confirmation that this is actually what happened until
Right,
we
right.
actually
Not at
hear
all. This
from
is
Under
all
Armour stuff,
speculation.
all speculation
Yeah,
and
this
everything. But
things we're all making up.
now that we are past that part, let's get into reckless speculation though, Jacques.
Reckless
Um,
speculation time. Okay.
we go, let's do this.
I'm gonna
So
here's my
okay,
thing.
go ahead. Okay.
Here's the thing, and this might be the most controversial thing. Maybe Curry brand isn't worth it. Maybe they're just
Mm,
not selling like that, and Under Armour
mhm.
is dropping dead weight.
Yeah, it's totally possible. It's not out of the realm of possibility that that's the case because, and we've talked about this before, and we've talked about it like on Hard Pass and in different outlets and everything. But I feel like Under Armour and Curry out the gate started hot, like on fire.
Yes.
The Curry one was basically like firing at all cylinders. Like there were there was speculation about like how well it was selling and how like it was. Under Armour was almost like was it at some point they were like the number 2 brand at some point where in terms of like basketball, like they actually overtook Adidas. And you
Yeah, for
thought
a
like,
little I
hey
think for a
man,
little while, yeah.
for like a very, very brief moment. And then the Chef Curry's happened. I know a lot of people talk about like, it wasn't that big of a deal, especially like looking back on it, but I really think it really did a lot to kind of halt the momentum that Steph had because it became such a
Mm.
huge meme. It became just this huge thing that kind of painted Steph as like the dad, you know, like
Yeah, yeah.
and not even like a cool dad kind of way, right? Like just
Right, right,
he's a
yeah.
pop. He's not even dad, he's pops. Kind of like that kind of image. And you know, it kind of maybe diminished the shoe line and everything. I mean, there have been a lot of solid releases afterwards. I think I'm personally like a big fan of
Yeah.
like the Curry 4, but I don't think they really recaptured the magic after like the Curry one. I really feel like the Chef Curry's really kind of blunted a lot of the potential for growth. And maybe Curry brand was kind of looking back now, it might be like a last ditch effort to kind of keep the partnership going and also maybe like, try something new and to maybe spark something. And, to be
Mm.
honest, I do like this recent run of Curry brand stuff, but nothing has really hit the way that, maybe they kind of hoped. And this is maybe like the final chapter of that is that, hey man, like didn't we tried basically like we tried to stay for the kids, you know,
Yeah.
we tried to stick together for the children. And it
Yeah.
turns
Yeah,
out,
yeah.
man, we're just gonna have to go our separate ways.
Yeah, and that I mean, and they're not even doing that yet. They're still living together. He just moved
They're
down
still living
to the
together.
basement.
Exactly.
Yeah,
I
they
mean,
still live
this
together. He went
yeah, we also we joked about this too earlier. This is kind of like when Curry Brand started. This kind of also felt like a situation where a teenager, wants to declare their independence from their parents, or they're like, I'm moving out. I'm gonna be on my own. And it turns out they're just moving to the
yeah.
garage. They're
Yeah,
just
yeah. Now and yeah, it's like and now it's like a relationship like they were married and the kids are like, "Dad, why?" Or like, "Mom, why is Dad sleeping in the garage? Like
yeah,
what's going
exactly.
like what's going on? What's happening? Why is Dad sleeping downstairs?" Yeah, it's crazy, and it's not news that I expected, but I mean, it's business and this kind of stuff happens, and we'll see what comes of it. I'd be interested in seeing what opportunities come for Steph
Yeah,
and where he can move as a brand because we mentioned this earlier, can't go to Anta because that's kind of like Kyrie's home.
sure.
I doubt he goes back to Nike. That just doesn't seem to make sense. Only Adidas, I mean, they're so heavily invested in AE right now that I
Mhm.
don't think they could do that. And I feel like they've um they've made that mistake with Harden, like kind of thing where they went all in with Harden and
Yep,
it didn't
sure.
kind of pan out the way they wanted to.
Mhm.
So really, I mean, Reebok is probably the only place as far as American brands go where we could really see him cook, or maybe there's a brand overseas that I'm not thinking of. You mentioned Li Ning has Dwayne Wade.
Yeah.
Um, Riggerer has Austin Reeves. Or wait, do they have Austin Reeves or do they
They do
have
have wrestling. Yeah,
wait,
yeah, yeah, they do have, like, it would
Austin
that would be
Reeves?
funny if they were like, Thanks, Steph, but we got the future's taken care of here. We got Austin Reeves. We're
Yeah,
gonna be
yeah,
alright."
yeah. We
That
have
that
we've
would be the
got
funniest.
that. Uh, I think Luca's with 861 or something like that. 361. Isn't Luca with 361? Somebody's with
Joker,
361. So
Joker,
like they
Jokic.
all Joker,
Yeah,
Jokic,
Joker.
like
Luka's
Luca's
with
was
Jordan,
Jordan.
yeah,
Sorry.
same,
Yeah,
yeah.
sorry, Joker. Like they all feel like they have their positioning. So
Mhm.
it'll be interesting to see what Steph Curry can do with Curry brand, and maybe he makes it independent, which is something that we've talked about a lot on Hard Pass
Yep.
that we thought Jalen Brown could do. And that we've always and that we talked about Kyrie doing, or what
Yes.
Jalen Brown does, but we talked about Kyrie doing. Maybe
Mhm.
this is Steph stepping into that space on his own. It'll be interesting. We're gonna have to. I'm gonna see if maybe I can get somebody from Steph Curry's team or something like that. Maybe we get
Oh,
them
that'd
on
be
the
cool.
podcast or something.
And no disrespect to Jalen Brown, but if Steph were to actually go the full independent route, it would make a bigger splash, let's be honest. Like, from the rollout, just in terms of, like, name recognition, I feel like
Yeah.
this could be I feel like regardless of whatever happens, whether Steph Wood signs with a different brand or, like, attaches Curry brand to something else or he goes independent, I feel like he's gonna be fine. It's just a matter of, like,
Yeah.
magnitudes of, like, how big it's gonna be, really. Like, there's gonna be Curry
Yes.
shoes, there's gonna be product, there's gonna be all that stuff. I just wonder, like, how big does he actually want this to be? Because we mentioned Dwayne Wade with
Mm,
Li Ning. He seems like he's comfortable there. Like, he seems like he's fine collecting that paycheck. No one really talks about the way of Wade stateside, but it seems like it's doing well for him. So if he's were to sign with a Chinese brand, would he just be, like, comfortable with that?
yeah.
Not having a huge American presence, but basically collecting a big bag, if
Yeah.
he were to go that route. Or if he Reebok really sounds like a really, really interesting proposition, though, the more that I think about it. Like,
Yeah.
in
It
terms of, like, the
does.
impact and, the what was it? That Netflix Reebok infomercial basically that I watched for, like, 5 episodes. Imagine a season 2 where, like, Shaq like, it ends, like, it's like, it's their typical, Shaq doing Shaq things, and then at the end of season 2, there's, like, a phone call, and it says Steph Curry, and we're like, "Dun, dun, dun."
Yeah. That'd be nice.
That'd be hey,
Here's
big fella, get us on
big
board. Like,
fella. Yeah,
we will
big
do we'll
fella.
be EPs. We'll be EPs on the show, man.
Something else that I just thought about, Under Armour didn't drop The Rock, so they still have Dwayne
Whoop
Johnson
de
as a signature
doo. No, I'm just
athlete.
kidding.
I'm j his stuff, I think his stuff does big numbers.
Yeah, I would imagine it does. I would imagine Dwayne
So they
does
still have
numbers
him.
for him. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I guess we'll talk about this too, like, on the actual main podcast, like, once more details maybe come to light. But we also didn't cover De'Aaron Fox. What's the future with him? Because he is basically, his shoes are tied to Curry brand. Does he, like, become, like, Under Armour's
Yeah.
main guy now? So there's really a lot of other stuff to cover, but I think we are gonna cut it off right here, kind of tease it out and
Yeah,
just,
yeah.
let's get some more details out there and wildly speculate at that point because it's interesting times, man. Interesting times.
Interesting times, and we're not above wild speculation. We're not
I,
above it,
I-
so
yeah. But yeah, no, so hopefully you enjoyed this quick hit episode of the Too Hard to Pass podcast. Again, Juan Martinez, Jacques Slade, and we out. Kind of like Steph and Under Armour. We out. We out. We out.